are on the site of the castle.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
That's what you do. You buy these planes that cost money and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, gets on with a smile on his face.
We just want you to sit in your chair and go hip hip hooray to the Western press and the Western narrative. He dared you take me the same old every single day without this. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first series, the first 2 episodes, the second series. Stallone. Good evening, everyone. I hope you have all had a brilliant Christmas. Really do. And my Christmas was okay. You know, it was okay. It was quiet. Always have quiet weekends and days of the week as well. So, but at least to see me immediate family, you know, my daughter and grandkids, which was great, just to see them, you know. Anyway, I'm supposed to have this fella on tonight, and he's got the flu. I was talking to him before, and he can't even talk. So and he sends his apologies. He said, but he definitely will come on to talk about these. These are actual photos. And this was taken over India. He wanted to talk about this, actually. In 1964, India. Look at that. It's incredible. And this one, again, this fella who took that, is a fella named Billy Meyer. He's Swiss. And he was in Delhi, 1964, and he's seen this thing. And he was amazed at it. And when he took it, you know, that it gave him an insight into it, like what was up there. And then this is taken from his own. This is like years later, 12 years later. And that's an actual UFO. And he was wondering what it's all. And all these are just, he never taken these at all. But look at those, you know, they're in the sky. These are they're not all taken together, by the way. They were flying around. But these are just individual pictures, you know, taken from all over the place. And it's quite surprising, you know, what is out there. You know, look at that. That's incredible. Absolutely amazing. So, and this one, they reckon this one is a mile long. A mile long. Think about that, a mile. And these were like, I'm not saying this particular one, the Phoenix Lights. The Phoenix Lights. And look at that one there. You know, these are in the sky. There's another triangle there, or I don't know what it is. It could be like three UFOs. And that one is a very famous one, taken by a US jet fighter from the Nimitz. around 2004, I think. And this is what he wanted to talk about. And that's just an ordinary, fella going out, and he just seen that in the sky. People thought that it was a cloud formation, a nimbus. And they said, no, that's not a nimbus, because they got these people in, and it was a solid object. It was a solid object. So these are the things, that this fellow was going to talk about. But we'll have to put that on hold, unfortunately. He's got more info than I have, because he's written books, this fella. Jason Gleaves. He's written books about UFOs, which is intriguing, absolutely intriguing. If you're into UFOs, that is. So, what you want to talk about tonight? I don't know. I look at propaganda myself. I look at cover-ups. In the future, I'll be talking about what happened after the Second World War. And then there was loads of cover-ups about it. And what it was a fellow by the name of Reinhard Dehlen. And he was an SS general. Think about that. An SS general. And he was wanted by Russia for war crimes. Anyway, he gave himself up to the Americans. And he had all this information about communism, because he was in the Eastern Intelligence, this fella. And there was another fella by the name of Carl Wolf, SS. And what they did was incredible. What they did. And yet they were flown to America. So his network of all these Nazis were kept free and brought to America. I want to be talking about them in a later program, because there's loads of information on them, loads of it, and what these people were doing. And yet, these are Nazis. This Wolf fella, he sent over 300,000 Jews to Treblinka, where they were executed. And yet, he was brought to America. Frank Galen, this general, he was actually put into an American uniform and flown out to America right after the war. Think about that. And yet it was all covered up. Then they just turn around to people and saying conspiracy theory. Well, hang on, what conspiracy theory? Now, don't forget, conspiracy theory is at the end of the conspiracy theory. Because it's so easy, isn't it, to say, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. That was their spin. But at the end of that conspiracy theory is the truth. It's the truth. I just see it so. Just want to say hello to these wonderful people. Tony LFC. Evening, Mr. Carlyle. Couple of pints, Frank. Evening, Tony. Hope you're well. Hope you're well, mate. Thank you. I was having a mince pie and I was thinking about you. Tony, the mince pie man, lovely fella. Tally-o, Frank, dear boy. Tittle incoming, Frank. Gary Richards. Tally-o, Gary. Tally-o. What? And the Red Birds. MI6 is watching. Do you know what? I think we're all being watched, aren't we, to be honest? No matter where you go. It's everything is everything. You've only got to what. I'd like your opinion on this. You know, with all the CCTV, excuse me, with all this CCTV all around, is it a good thing? Or is it an invasion of your, shall we say, privacy? I know all this, you know, no matter what, I'm on here now. And I'll be being watched by somebody. It's a nap. Especially YouTube and other like little things. You know, look at this fella here. What's he going on about? What does he want to talk about? You see, so it's a privacy that's being invaded, but pretending that they're looking at the goodness of society, communities. This is what it's all about. And everybody's letting on to themselves. Redbird. Hi, Tony. Hi, Gary. Says the Redbird. Antonia. Hello, Redbird. Oh, lovely Myra is with us. Hi, everyone. I'm Frank. Hi, Myra. Love. And there's Tony letting know. That's lovely. That I really appreciate, you know, the community that's on here. I'm being honest. I hate lies. I hate these people, thieves. I hate thieves. Hate them. I really do. You know, these people who steal from you. They just steal. And that's what I'm saying, is this CCTV looking at these thieves to keep them away from you? No, I don't think so. They're not interested in them. What they're interested in is you. Do we talk about that? Do we talk about, as I said, about conspiracy theories? You've only got to look now. Everything that's happening in the world today. I mean, look at the Azerbaijan, for example, and a plane crashed there, and they know that it was taken down by something. And who's the first people to come out and say, "Oh, it was a flock of birds. It was Ukraine," and yet Ukraine was sending their drones over everywhere. You know, they were sending drones over. Well, they weren't their drones, were they? They were American drones and other drones, because they haven't got the technology, they haven't got the infrastructure, to be honest, because that's all dead. That's all dead to be making these drones. And yet they turn around and says it was a flock of seagulls. The first country to come out and say what brought that plane down. So that was to exonerate them from any blame. You know, then all of a sudden it was the Russians. The Russians did it. Now, that's right away. The Russians did it. It's just like that cable in the Baltic Bank, you know. The Russians did it. Everything that's going on, the Russians get the blame because of Russophobia, to be honest. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And they're expecting you and I to believe all this garbage that's coming out. But then again, they'll just turn around at this program, they'll just say, "Oh, that's a conspiracy theory." You see what I mean? It's so easy to say. It's so easy to label someone saying something. So easy. And that's what I mean about, you can't say anything unless you're labelled as something. See what I mean? I was listening to someone today, Scott Ritter, and he said there's no Palestinians. And I was taken aback by that. It's like saying, you know, there are people here in Liverpool, and they've got a big flag, massive banner, and it says Scouts, not English. and the Republic of Liverpool, meaning, like, because I'm not saying that everybody, all these Scousers here, are against the establishment. I'm not saying that, but there are a quite number, a majority of them who are. I'm included. I'm included in that, simply because we've had some terrible things. Excuse me. We've had some terrible things done to us over the years. And it's not just football, by the way. It's not cover-ups or anything like that about football. It's from a managed decline. I even go back right through the centuries and the way Liverpool was portrayed. Yet we were the most important city. It's been well established that we were the second, I hate saying it, like, empire, I hate that word, empire. Because you see what's going on today with the American empire, if you know what I mean. So we were the second city of the empire, but we were the first city of the empire, but with London being the capital. That's the way I look at it, anyway. We were the most important city in the world. Believe you me. I'm actually quoted as saying, with all the migrants coming into Liverpool and going over to the States, the New World, I said that many years ago, I said, Liverpool was the Ellis Island of Europe, and we were. People just talk about Ellis Island in America, New York, but we were the Ellis Island. Liverpool was the Ellis Island in that context, because of all the migrants coming here to Liverpool and setting sail over from all over Europe, Chinese, Russians, Irish, Italians, you name it, they were all flooding into Liverpool to set sail over there to America. And hence the Ellis Islands of Europe. And it's just, when you see the labels WOP, that became synonymous with the Italians, believe it or not. And you're nothing but a WAP, in America, that is, especially in New York. You're nothing but a WAP. Which was, it became derogatory, didn't it, really? And we put that WAP here in Liverpool, WOP, because the Americans, immigration people, they were saying, is there anything that you can do? Because we have thousands of people stuck here, and we're trying to see who's got passports or whatever. Can you do something before they get here? So we put the little labels on. Anyone without papers or passports, we put them on the labels, WOP. And they were made up with that because they just categorized them and put them there. They said, yeah, you go over there, you've got no papers, you've got papers, you get into this queue here. And it was so easy then, it was a free-flowing thing. I'll just go through some of these. Edward, hello, Mary. Edward Zeros. The red bird, blessing is lovely, Myra. Yes. Hello, Frank and chat, says Edward. And we're all letting them, this is lovely, this. Look, red birds and hi, Edward. Hi, Edward and red bird, says Myra. And they're all happy. They're all happy now. Oh, pal of Scouts. Even in Frank. Happy Crimbo, mate. Thank you. And the same to you. The same to you. Pal of Scouts. Funny. You just love these names. And he carries on by saying the Russians did judo, Frank. Didn't they, though? They did, do. Did you, do. Did you, don't behave yourself. I think Scousers and New Yorkers are similar, says Edward. You're right, even John Lennon said that. John Lennon, when he was walking through New York, you know, going into the park there, Central Park, he said it's great here. It's just so like Liverpool. So you're spot on, Edward. And he carries on by saying the way they're proud of where they're from. Yeah, absolutely. And the Panov says the Russians did it though. Oh, I've said that. Please, like letting on out to one another. So you see, you know, getting back to this, and the Russians are being blamed for anything that goes wrong, even taking down, you know, that plane, and the blaming Russia. Hitting that, you know, the cable. There's no, and now what's come out, which is absolutely pathetic. It's been going on that the North Koreans are in Kursk fighting the Ukrainians. If they are, so what? With the Russians are fighting NATO. They just captured an Australian. Yesterday. But the West are saying, oh, you know, we've got to investigate that. Oh, sods off, the fella was all going to get right there. Oh, so pathetic. Gary, evening, Frank, and everyone. Evening, Gary. That's lovely. Hang on a minute. Stocker, this is crazy. Stocker apocalypse, reverend of middle class. What a name. Tongue twister. Did you sit there? Just go down. What shall I call myself? Well, you won't be found. I don't think the MI6 will be found. And you get some colour technology, shore up that balance sheet. What? Okay, Mr. Apocalypse. Reference of middle class. Perfect chart to double your money. Dollars out. Greetings from greeting, oh, that's greeting that from a stranger. That's absolutely, that's, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to comment on that. It's this fella, this. Is he from Mars? Oh, Mr. Stranger. Stockholm. I'm glad the Redbirds has just said, "Hey, Stockholm." Stockholm. Calypse. Stockholm. Calypse. Reverence of middle class. What a name. Anyway, I'm getting back to this safer with conspiracy theories and other strange things. But as I said about these Germans, these Nazis, general, putting the Americans put a uniform on, and the CIA and MI6, they were made up with this fella. And that's why, if you remember what Churchill said after the war, let's go straight on to Russia. And Truman said, no. Let's go on to Russia. That's what Churchill wanted. Think about that. War would have never ended. Like today, there are people who don't want wars to end. They just want it to keep on going. And have you noticed all of a sudden, do you know when some certain things happen? Some certain things happen. And then when it stops, it's forgotten. It's forgotten. Do you know what's forgotten? What's never mentioned now? What's going on in Gaza? Have you noticed that? What's going on in Gaza? I was listening to Christmas morning, Gets Up, and I put a bit of music on. I love music, from classical to, the Beatles. And John Lennon's came up. John Lennon's Xmas War Is Over. And I don't know if anyone's seen it, the footage as he was singing, as it was singing. And the footage of war. And it was shocking. I felt it. Really, this is Christmas morning. And Vietnam. And I put it up, I was on a stream, and I put it up because someone was talking about something, about wars. I think it was Professor Sachs, great man, love him, great man. And he was mentioning the likes of Afghanistan and everywhere else, the Americans went into, even in African countries. And I said, what about napalm and Vietnam and people being banned? That never went. That was, I think it was YouTube who, deleted it. I don't think it was the show that I was watching. And that was Judge Napolitano. And it's shocking. It's shocking. Do you ever remember, if you've seen Apocalypse Now, the film, and you see, what's his name? Get his bloody name. Anyway, you just see him. He's in a cavalry hat. He's a general there in Vietnam. And he's just standing there like that. And he says, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. That was a terrible line in any script. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. And this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. And this is what's going on in Gaza. And all of a sudden, it seems to be forgotten. They're talking about Netanyahu and Syria and what he wants to do. You might as well sit around a table, having a meal and saying, oh, yeah, well, this is Netanyahu. Only a couple of weeks ago, he was calling for everything. Saying he was a war criminal. And now they're just sitting down talking and saying, is that all forgotten? These children being blown to pieces. As if it been forgotten. Redbird says the mainstream media are good at distracting the sheeple. The joke woke and sheeple walk around with eyes wide shut like that while they are getting brainwashed. Everything is brainwashed and whitewashed. Brainwashed, whitewashed too. Don't forget Redbird. This woke nonsense is shocking. Someone said to me, have you watched that film, Blitz? I said, no. Why haven't you watched it? Because it's changing history. I hate anything that changes history in a big way. And that's the way it is today. Wokeness. I won't watch any sort of film today because it's full of woke. That just doesn't happen. And that hasn't happened. Ed Zara says, panel, no, Duval, just come to me. Duval, to the Godfather. Oh, come on. God blimey. Do you know what? Every time, I haven't got a cold or anything, and it's all itchy. You know what I went over here? That's why you see me scratching. I've got this thing. I can't get rid of it. I've got ointment and put it on. And it burns me. And, itches me at the same time. And it's a terrible sensation. So I can't put it on now. Albeit I'm itching all the time. Myra, those love war have no soul. Do you have a Myra? The war hawks. You've only got to look at some women in America. Victoria Nuland, Hillary Clinton. They're shocking people. Nikki Haley. That Yelland. Just horrible people. Women. Even Liz Truss, she came out, didn't she, when she was trying to get the prime ministership before she became prime minister. The interviewer said, would you press the button? She said, yeah, just like that. She said, yeah. No pause, no nothing, no thinking, well, nothing like that. Not even giving her well, if this happens, it'll be very hard or nothing like that at all. Just a straightforward yes. Nothing against you, Myra, but some women against, are very dangerous. Dean, I believe that there's a push for a new world order that's being played out in front of us. Things from LGBTQ agenda that's being pushed on us to destroy the family unit. Brilliant. To the economy, excuse me. to the economy on the brink of collapse. The MSM is driving the agenda through propaganda, and if people can't see it, then they are brainwashed, mate. Yes. Then they whitewash at the same time, the brainwashing, the whitewashing it as well. Oh, you can't see that. Dean says Russia is the bogeyman, or that we're told is the bogeyman. I think it's all the theatre, mate. The real bogeymen are the elites that will kill their own citizens for financial gain and control of their own citizens. That is 9/11. Brilliant comment. It's like what Myra said before, these people love wars. And the feed, you've only got to look, you've only got to look at America. They start wars everywhere. I put up on a post, not a post, it was just a comment on the stream I was following. And I said, there's two countries in the world, and if they didn't exist, there'd be no wars. Two countries. One of them, believe it or not, it's not this country, but they're associated with these two countries, if you know what I mean. And there'd be no wars. It'll be a peaceful world. What countries are they? Excuse me, I'll have to drink a parched. So what countries do you think they are? Maybe you got fleas to them there, are they? Good. Elite and rich have underground bunkers. You've only got to look at Zelensky. He's deep down. He's in a bunker. Sometimes he comes out with like this, where I've got a green screen, and he's with his little green t-shirt on, the green man. Fleas it up your nose flank. Behave yourself. Yes. America and Russia, says Dino. USA, Israel, they're the two. They are the two. They are the two. The two countries. And I didn't realise, it's like what Dino said before, a new world order. It goes back to Bush, W. Bush. When he came out, someone was filming where it wasn't like for television or anything, it wasn't like for giving this main speech or whatever, for audiences around the world, and if you know what I mean, on a television. But someone filmed him, and he was with all these people, and he walked out on the stage. It wasn't W, it was George, the dad, and he's talking about we have to, excuse me, we have to implement the new world order around the globe. So it goes back there. It goes back there. And when you think about it, the New World Order, that is, this is what's going on today. But lately, what really has come to the fore with this New World Order, you've only got to look at what Israel wants. Israel wants to extend from Israel, a little tiny country, it is, little tiny country in the world. And they want to spread right down, right through where Yemen is. I wish they had me map. If I had me map, I'll show you where Yemen is. Little tiny country where the Houthis live. And that's on the coast. They want to extend right down to there. Take over Syria, which they're there now, along with Turkey. Do you realise that the Syrian people, ordinary people, are being executed today? You've got kids there that Turkey wants to get rid of, but they're under the protective of America. But America would just abandon them, not disband them, they'd abandon them. So it's being chopped up. Syria, a country. Think about that. And this is what they wanted to do in Russia. This is why they've been poking the bear for years. Remember Angela Merkel with the 2 Minsk agreements? And she said, no, that was just a ploy. That was to set up Ukraine to have a massive army. It's not the biggest army in Europe, Ukraine. I don't know whether you're aware of that. And they dug these massive defences. Russia's just depleting them, banks. With that new bomb they've got, Oroshenka, is it? I forget what you call it. Oroshenka, is it? Anyway, they've got this new thing that just goes right down and blows everything below the surface of the ground, including bunkers. You can't hide from it. And they're in mass production now. And Putin's warned them, we'll set them off. Thanks for that, Red Bears, and you, Dino. The great made up. Myra, Frank, what's your thoughts on the drones' appearance in the US cities? It was a distraction, Myra. What was going on, especially in Gaza, and especially and what was happening in America as well. Their economy is in the collapse. Their economy is in the collapse. A big recession is coming, and they reckon it's going to be worse than the 20s with the Wall Street crash. And you see, well, I've been streaming around America, and I was looking at Oakland in California, the sunny state. I'm streaming it yesterday. I couldn't believe it. Homeless, drug abusers, shocking. It's like a third world country, and that's just in California. Even LA, the lands of the stars. Bloody, you want to see the state of it? Drugs. And the zombies. Honestly, the zombies. Been watching them. It's incredible. the homeless is immense. That's all right over America. I always remember the 2004 or 5 Hurricane Katrina, when it devastated New Orleans, and there are still people today still homeless from that. And W. Bush, who was president, said that we're going to help. Never lifted a finger, that man, nor the American government. They're only concerned about wars. And that's when Iraq was still going on, after the 2003 illegal invasion. That's what America is like. They just want resources. They wanted Russia's resources. They thought that this Ukraine, that this mighty army that they made, NATO, that's who Russia are fighting now today. There's no Ukrainian army. They're fighting NATO. That's who they're fighting. They've captured British, they've captured Americans, they've captured Poles, French, captured loads of them. But that North Korean thing, there's no... Today, or yesterday, they said that they finally captured, to get onto this is a whopper. They finally captured a North Korean. Wow. The Ukrainians captured a North Korean. Now, they said he's dead. And they took a picture of him, and someone has said, this is taken from the 80s, it could have been anywhere. This particular picture, grainy picture. I always remember, as a young man, when Che Guevara was captured by the CIA and just shot dead. He was executed then. And they were lifting his head up, remember? Saying, yeah, there he is, and showing them. Why didn't he do that with the North Korean? If they captured the North, why didn't he do it with him? Why didn't he do it? You've only got to look at Jesse James and Billy the Kid. You see the cowboy standing there, with the bodies of the likes of Jesse James and Billy the Kid. You'd even get, the gangsters going back to the 20s and 30s, where you see them just standing there. Machine Gun Kelly, the body of Machine Gun Kelly, dead. Why didn't he do that with today's technology? With this North Korean, it's so phony. They expect you and I to believe this, and it's so annoying. They must think that you're fucking stupid. But mind you, there are stupid people who actually believe it. So it was a distraction, Myra, from what's going on. That's all. And what Biden's up to. It's not Biden, because it's been proved now, it's come out, that he was diminished the day he took office on his first term. He was diminished. So he wasn't running the show. He wasn't running the show. So who was running the show? I tell you who was running the show. The deep state, the neocons, with the mouthpieces of Blinken and Jake Sullivan. They were running the show. They've started all this. Everything that's going on today, they've started it. And have you ever noticed, who's probably got called an anti-Semite now, have you ever noticed every Secretary of State in America is a Jew? Have you ever noticed that? You go right back to Kissinger. Panov, I love this. This is good tonight, people. Love your comments. Panov says the WEF and all those clowns are the ones pushing the agenda, and Starmer, Trudeau and Macron and the likes are doing their bidding. Starmer even said Davos over Britain. Yeah, he did. He did. He doesn't get, I'll have to say it, I'm sorry, like, brother, sorry, Myra, but he doesn't give two fucks about us. Nothing. Sick. Yeah, that was from before. Absolutely. Israel. They're the main. They run America. That's what I was going to say before. And I didn't realise until I knew that they were running the world along with America, but I didn't realise that they were running America to run the world. I didn't realise that until now. Well, I realised just before now, I realised what the power was Israel had over America when Netanyahu, who was committing war crimes, genocide, flew to America, and the Congress of America gave him 58 standing ovations. 58. Think about that. 58 of them. Biblical prophecy is unfolding before our eyes, where Israel at its center. Yes. Yes. There's plenty of evidence, says Dino, that all these storms and fires in America are weather manipulation. Yeah, they did it. And the directed energy weapons for the elites to control more land and push the masses into these cities where they are easier to monitor and control. They reckon that they've got, whoever gets it, a weather machine. I always remember as a young fella, when I was a teen, mid-teens, early teens, now mid-teens, late teens, and I always thought about a weather machine. And what made me think about it, I remember we planned, me and my mates, to go to New Brighton, right, on the Sunday, for the day out. And it was raining. We never went because it was lashing down. Useless day, as usual, in this country. And I was thinking then, what if there was a machine that could blow away the cloud? And not only blow away the cloud, but control the wind. Because it was windy that day. Never forget it. I always remember going out on a Christmas Eve. Right, a Christmas Eve one year. And not when I was a was a man then, then I was like younger than what I am now. And I went out Christmas Eve, which I did every year. And it was warmer on that Christmas Eve than it was the previous July. Think about that. So I've always wondered, But I believe that there is someone working on it now that it will control the weather. And whoever controls the weather will dominate the world. Think about it. Just imagine if America owns like this machine built in the other, and what they could do with it. They could just go to Russia, who they love. The Americans love the Russians, and put that machine in place, giving them hurricanes, typhoons, tidal waves, tsunamis that would devastate Russia. And it would. Think about it. Not just one, like, tsunami, but lots of them. Not just one hurricane, but lots of them. And I mean, not a hurricane that passes through, but a hurricane that keeps going, until everything's destroyed. Could shout that, because we're being monitored now. We're being controlled now. You and I are being controlled. You, your family, my family, Myra's family. Edwards, I've been watching videos like that, Frank, where someone walks around the city with a camera. There's loads on YouTube. It's amazing, Edwards. It's amazing what's going on in America. It really is. I wanted to do one on Liverpool, but some lad let me down. Who's got one of these drones. I said to him, he said, okay. And it would have been great. It would have been on YouTube now. But I'll have to wait now again. Fuck. Trump is crazy if he goes after Iran, says Myra. Myra, they've always hated Iran. I wouldn't put it past. It's not Trump, really. It's what we've been saying about the deep state, these neocons. It's them. It's those people. He said, didn't he, I'm going to clear the swamp. He never did in his last term. He didn't clear the swamp. And yet there's people who he's got in who have called him for everything, before the elections. And he's brought them in. What's that telling you? He wants to go after Panama, the Panama Canal. He wants to buy Greenland. Have you ever known the likes, this man? And I'm very surprised at him. I know for a fact, I said this ages ago on here. I think it was on here ages ago, but all before Greenland came up. What did I say it on here? I'm not quite so sure. No, this is months ago I said this. He wants to buy Nuuk Airport. Nuuk is the capital of Greenland, and they've got an airport. And he wants to buy that airport. Did you have a base there, I've seen the planes. Because I used to go on to Greenland and used to look at these things. Yeah. Place called Kangerslausen, something like that. They've got mad names. So you say, it's a matter of who wants to buy what. America wants to own the world. They want to control the world. They want to control you. Well, we're being controlled now anyway. We're being controlled now. See, Iran, they've always hated them. Have they always hated them? But who's the real country that hates them? Israel. Israel hates them. They'd love to send over those things. See, what did they say last week or the week before? We're going to go after their nuclear power things. Think about that. Israel. We're American now, obviously. We're American now. But Iran's got a powerful army, and this is what we might be like, just thinking a little, well, let's wait a minute. Myra says weather control harp frequency, yeah. Do you know this? This is what I was thinking as well. I don't know what you thought about it. I don't know what you lads and girls think about this. Is that I was watching something, and I'm going back months ago, and you see a polar bear, and it's on ice. The polar bear on ice, and it's breaking up, and it's trying to get to this other piece of ice, and that's melting. These are the polar ice caps. Do you think that this weather change is fucking melting them? Honestly, do you? I do. There's something there melting these ice caps. Something. And it's not. I stream somewhere in Russia, and it's called, it's a mad little Ost. What the fucking hell is it? Ost Kust. It's in Siberia. And it's different places in Siberia. This Ost Kust. It's only that place. But you actually see, what's going on. It's brilliant. And the snow there is incredible. And you just see the people walking around, you see kids playing. Minus 20, 25, minus 30 some days. And you see kids playing. Little kids, but the family's looking after them. Incredible. RIBR. Even in Franco, even in IB. Lovely to see you. Oh, look, everyone, look at the little one. It's really good. But you see, so is there something there that are actually melting, to see if they can melt the ice caps? I was watching a film with Charlie Sheen, of all people, and it's a cracking little film about aliens. It's about aliens, and it's called The Arrival. You can get it on YouTube, but there's different titles for YouTube. I don't know why they do different titles, but anyway, you've got it. The Arrival. I think it's on there. I think it's called They Are Here on YouTube, but the original keeps going up. The original title is The Arrival. And that's what I'm talking about. Controlling weather. These aliens. And it just starts off cracking. I'm not spoiling it. If you ever want to watch it. You just see this girl, and she's got these like very heavy sunglasses, like not ordinary sunglasses, but this thing, like a visor. And she's looking, and it's all this like green, all this green around her. And she's looking, then she takes her glasses off, this like visor thing. And she's saying, no, this is impossible. This is impossible, she's saying. And the camera just comes away from it. That was brilliant the way they did it. Because really, it's going further and further out, into space, like. And it's the North Pole. I think it's or South Pole, one of the poles anyway. Unbelievable. I always remember reading about same scarf, sorry about that, the red beardy, saying I've got fleas. I always remember reading something about two astronauts, aeronauts, right? Aeronauts. And what has happened were all cock and brown. And they were the British, they were the first people to, in a biplane, double, to fly the Atlantic. And they were more or less explorers as well. And they went to the North Pole. And as they were flying over the North Pole, the last radio message was, "This is incredible. There's a black hole. And in that black hole, there's greenery, there's trees, there's everything there. We can't believe it. There's running rivers. Running rivers. They're in the North Pole." That was the last message. He just disappeared. All cock and brown. And that's what says we can't be the only beings in the universe. See, when you get the terminology infinity, you can't grasp what it means, and that's space. Infinity. It goes on. It goes on and on and on. Billions of stars, billions of galaxies. And we're a little we're nothing. We're less than a grain of sand. We're even not a grain of sand in this vastness of what's out there. Even Jupiter and Saturn and all these wonderful planets of ours, they're nothing. There'll be bigger planets than Jupiter. Think about it. IBR. What's your take on the aircraft that was hit in Azerbaijan? I'm going to give you a gold star for that. Azerbaijan, spelling it. I've been talking about it before. Who are they blaming? This is what I was saying before. They're blaming the Russians. Who were the first people to come out with said? The first people to come out. It was a flock of seagulls. Flock of seagulls. Hang on a fucking minute. Flock of seagulls. And that was Ukraine. Came out and said that. because they had to, because they were sending drones over trying to blow up places at the same time. At the same time. Even the Russians came out and said that they couldn't land where they were supposed to land because of these drones. They reckon a drone hit it. Something brought it down. That's what they said. But now they're blaming Russia, which is natural, you know. Blame Russia. You know. Anything that happens, blame Russia. They're so quick at blaming Russia right away. Yet they haven't even come out and said who blew up the Nord Stream after they haven't found out the Nord Stream pipeline. They haven't come out and said, oh, you know, and yet it's been 3 years, 2 years. It's hilarious. It's hilarious, really is, to say that Russia did it. And yet they can't, right away, that is, you know, within a matter of a day, matter of hours. And even the cable, the bolter, pathetic. And yet they're still investigating who blew up the Nord Stream. They wouldn't come up. They blame Russia. Remember that first? They blame Russia. It's the Russians. Oh, as soon as that happened, and I said, why would Russia blow up their own pipeline? Then they started blaming these someone hires a boat, a little yacht, and brought it. Oh, for fuck's sake! These are the people who want to control you. They think they're stupid. So that's my take on that. That's my take on that. They're trying to draw these other countries into the war against Russia. That's what it's all about. Edwards, it's expanding now. What's it expanding into? Exactly, you're talking about everything. If I show you this, look, I showed this before. These UFO things. These are not like, these are not things thrown up in the air and you take a photograph. These are proper photographs, these, of things in the sky. Proper things in the sky. Like that. That thing there has always fascinated me. I forget the Italian artist, you know, you go back to the 15th century. I forget his name. Italian, obviously. And that's, if you look at that carefully, you've got a fella sitting right-hand corner, and he's viewing it. He's looking up at it. You know, he's like that. And that's not just put there. It's incredible. A UFO on a 15th, 16th century painting. And that's what it is. Absolutely amazing. So there's your vastness. There's your vastness. of space. And what did Einstein say? You know, you can bend space. You're there, right? But you can bend space instead of taking light years to get to Earth, for example. You can bend space so that you're there in a matter of whatever, because you bend. Mad, isn't it? Do you know that to read Einstein, it'll take another 300 years to understand them? Did you know that? 300 years. Myra says climate change has been happening for thousands of years. They say we must reduce our carbon footprint. Carbon is good for life and plants. Think about it, about the control by controlling food supply. Yes. Yes. That's why America wants Ukraine. That's why America wants Ukraine, because they've got all this stuff, this wheat. I mentioned this. I don't know whether I mentioned it the other night. Russia had been sanctioned since 1924 by the Americans and the British. Sanctioned. Right? And yet, they were still trading for wheat. America's always wanted the wheat. And even now today, that's why if they could have broken up Russia, they would have been made up. They tried to do it under Yeltsin, but Yeltsin was a drunken fool. Gorbachev was too nice. Then Yeltsin took over, but he was a puppet. Yeltsin. Then Putin took over, got rid of all the oligarchs and went like that. Sods off. To the Americans, you're not taking this. We've got more resources than anybody else. You had Trump saying, you know, we've got loads of oil, we can feed the no, we can't. You haven't got more oil than Russia. And he's trying to say they have, more oil than Saudi. No. Combined, he said, oh, behave, Donald. Anyway. But you're right about the food supply. But who owns now? You know what the Americans wanted? I'm not talking about Lithuania or anything like that. I'm talking about the wheat and all the, this great soil that nourishes the world, and it grows the wheat. And who owns it now? The Russians, because they've got the Donbass. Incredible. And yeah, you're talking about that particular picture, aren't you, at the end? Yeah, it looks like he's taking a picture. He's not. He's looking up like this. You know, the sun. You know, like we do anyway. You look like that, and that's what he's doing. That particular picture. Yeah, I'll go back to that before I go on to what the lads are saying there. Just bear with me. Got to go right through. There he is. I wish I could just point it out, but there he is. But if you see the lady's shoulder, right shoulder, because there's the bow of a ship, and there he is on the bow of a ship looking up. See what I mean? Mad, isn't it? because that's a ship there. Huge ship, by the way. Have you heard of the project Bluebeam, Frank? I have, but I haven't really got into it, to be honest. Do you know? I really haven't. Here's a blue book. Climate change is a hoax, Myra, says Dino. When they talk about cutting our carbon footprint, they actually mean us. I think that's a cracker. Brilliant. Brilliant. And Dino says, when I was in school in geography, they said the Albert Talcum Pierheads would be underwater. That was over 26 years ago. Climate change is a hoax. Plenty of scientists have gone on record debunking it, but never get the publicity because it doesn't suit the agenda. That's what I said. You know, I've been waiting for this climate war. You know, warming and it's fucking freezing here. You get a week of sunshine and a hot sun. We're all made up. Oh, we had a lovely summer. What summer? Yeah, walking around like ghosts. Pale faces. Climate change. Greta Thunberg. What a prat she is. Did you know that she's been modelled into this thing, you know, as a little girl? And I'm like, isn't she lovely? Did she mention anything about the Nord Stream? The biggest catastrophe taking place. The biggest catastrophe taking place. No. That's a word. Think about that. Think about that. Eco catastrophe in the world, and she doesn't mention it. The biggest. IBR says the climate change hoax is about forcing through a digital carbon-based economy to replace the current capital system. There's loads of things, isn't there, you know, about control. There's loads of agendas. And when you speak about them, they just say that's a conspiracy theory. But at the end of that conspiracy theory, it's the truth. Simply because when you mention something which is the truth, they just say it's a conspiracy theory. It's like I was watching. I wasn't watching. I seen a thing of it going back a couple of years, and it was about Anne Boleyn, and a black actress played it. I said, why have they done that? Why have a black actress playing Anne Boleyn? And that was the start of all this wokeness, changing history to suit, I don't know. I said at the time, I said, would they have a black man, you know, black man playing, say like Will Smith playing Adolf Hitler? Do you have any of that? Hey, don't think so, do you? So it's like trying to change the whole of what you and I know, if you know what I mean. It's changing everything. It's changing everything. Remember when we went back to the 80s and managed decline of this city by Thatcher and Jeffrey Howe? That's what it's like today. It's managed decline of nations. It's to control you and me. So as you said there, climate change is a hoax. Well, that Fauci's been exposed, hasn't he, in America? What do you think about COVID, Frank? I think it was a pre-planned event to manipulate the masses into a fear of rebranding of the flu. The vaccines, for one. More people have died of vaccine reactions than the actual COVID. People who took the death shot suffering clots and now finding out they have cancers in so many different parts of the body, which they are calling turbo cancer, all part of the depopulation agenda. That's mad, that, isn't it? That is mad. You could do like a 5-hour debate on that, because it's we were going around with masks on. I wore them because I thought that it was you wouldn't catch it, but they were useless. But as you said about the COVID thing, and that was a great plan as well by people who could manipulate it. But not only that, but make a great profit. It's like the greatest embezzlers in the world today. Matt Hancock. What's happened to him? Nothing. He's not held accountable for anything he did. The Minister of Health. It's like embezzlement. He embezzled millions and even gave a fella, a pub manager, millions to do all this PPE stuff. Shock. That Moan one, M-O-A-N, is it? M-O-A-N, Moan. Lady Moan. Is she held accountable? She made millions and went offshore and gave millions to the children. Shock. It's absolutely shocking. So it was a big fraud. COVID was a fraud in every possible way. I believed it, The fearmonger. The fearmonger. I believed it until you start going deeper into it and go, whoa, hang on a minute. Dino says Matt Letizia has been cancelled for speaking out about the amount of footballers and athletes that have suffered cardiac arrest and myocarditis since the death shots. Yes. It's just fucking nuts. It's just nuts. He's good, that Matt Letizia, because you know he said not only on that, you know, but on sport as well. He said it how it was, and he was banned by Sky, wasn't he, on sport? And he comes out, very clever fella, Matt Letizia. I like Letizia. And the red bird. COVID is a flu strain. They doctored it to make it worse. Flu-like symptoms. They said that it was the clue for me. Oh, hang on. Flu-like symptoms. They said that was the clue for me. Also, USA painted it in about 1984. That's mad, that, isn't it? Look at that Fauci. He's just been pardoned. He doesn't have to go to court and everything. And Mr. Biolab, Hunter Biden, pardoned. Just waiting for the next pandemic to hear it said, and the Reds are flying at the minute. 16. Don't tell anyone. Well, you'd have to laugh, don't you, then? Jeez. There is going to be another one. You know, it's like anything. It's like anything. Look what's going on today. You've got a Ukraine-Russian war. You've got NATO and everyone all jumping in. What's it a distraction of or from? It's a massive distraction. So what's coming next? What's coming next? We had the COVID. They controlled us with the COVID. Lockdowns and everything. I had a play to go on. I had a play. And I was going on at St. George's Hall in the big concert. Everything was planned for the 28th of June. Jake Abraham was going to be in it. It has a great cast. Fantastic cast. And lockdown. Boris Johnson, that fraud. Banned. Stopped. Not banned, stopped. Couldn't do it. And then Jake died. Jake died on me. So that next pandemic, Dean, could be anytime soon. Redbird, people believed it because all they heard from the propagandist broadcast via 24 hours a day, 24/7. Mad, isn't it? That's all I keep saying, it's mad. Is it mad or madness? IBR says, my sister had Croice pain for mo. What's that? Have you missed? I don't understand that. Oh, is that chronic pain for months? Is that? My sister had chronic pain for months. Must be. Redbird says, my mate worked at the hospital, and when they said all wards are full, he told me they wasn't, but weren't allowed to say. I remember the op I had, a triple repair aneurysm, and that was during COVID. Now I had this, I was dying. It's as simple as that. Here, right here, from you. And I phoned up my doctors at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, can someone help, please? She said, no. Wait till surgery shuts, so I phoned up at 6:15. I said, can you phone an ambulance for me? I was rolling around on the floor. I couldn't move. I couldn't get hold of anybody to help me. And I had to wait. She said no. I never forget it. She said no. Phoning yourself. I said no. They take notice of you. She said no, phoning yourself. She couldn't pick up the phone an ambulance, give my address, my name and address. She wouldn't do that for me. I had to wait over 3.5 hours for the ambulance. The ambulance came. I live on the 2nd floor, and they wouldn't even come up to me. I crawled, got the lift down, struggled getting the lift. I even left my door, I couldn't close my door or not. Crawled down, I've got security doors. I had to crawl up the wall to press the button to open the door. And I crawled. The fella, young ambulanceman, was waiting at the bottom of where I lived. And he looked at me, he's fucking looking at me, this fella. And I was crawling. He must have known that was me. I said, are you the ambulance man? And he said, yeah. Didn't even pick me up. I said, help me. And he was standing there looking at me. And my neighbour who lives underneath me, painter and decorator, he pulled in. And I shocked him. He said, Frank, is that you? And he picked me up. He said, are you all right? I said, where's the ambulance? And it was in the car park where I live, but it was way down. I said, can you get it? He said, no. I had to walk home. This Joe lad's helped me. Sat there in the back of the thing for over half an hour, answering stupid questions. 2 young people, I'd say mid-20s. They must have been new to the game. Ambulance. And guess what? They drove me to the wrong hospital. They diagnosed me with kidney stones. Yeah, I was having my heart was gone. And they had to rush down a top surgeon from Broad Green. He brought me to the Royal, and I should have gone to Broad Green. And I always remember this fella, this cracking lad, Porter. He knew me. I didn't know him because he came up to see me later on. And he said, he ran over. I was climbing out the ambulance. He wouldn't help me. And he ran over with this thing. He didn't know it was me, like climbing out the thing. And he ran over with this, wheelchair thing. And he went, what the fuck? And shouting at him. And he grabbed hold of me, under my arms. He put me in. And he went, I've got to report you fuck. And then when he got me in, and he was looking at me. And anyway, this reception, I was gone then. And I was having a triple repair aneurysm. Well, an aneurysm. And they gave me a triple repair thing, the operation. And he came up to see me. He said, I recognised you when you looked. Point is, I was only in there for 5 days and they threw me out. He said, you'll have to go. They wouldn't even give me an ambulance home. I had to get a car. I had to borrow money. Could you imagine me? Nothing. And I had to phone. I said, can I use a phone? So I used the phone, phoned one of my neighbours up. I said, can you give me taxi fare? He said, yeah, no problem. Paid the taxi. Anyway, it was a little story. But they wouldn't allow it. It's getting back to you, that birds and your mate, you're the Aussie. It was only 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 4 of us in this little ward. The fella next to me, the fella facing me. I'm telling you about them. Anyway, my page says, I have a feeling the lockdowns and the new pandemic coming, yeah? Then the vax comes out of the blue, yes. When will people learn not to comply to tyrannical governments? Yes. But we all do. We have to. Don't have to, but complain, nothing happens. In this country now, if you start complaining and going on a protest, you can go to jail. You say anything out of order, you can go to jail. It's nuts the way it is. IBR says, try again. My sister had chronic pain. Chronic pain and heart problems for months after having a COVID jab. Whoa. My old school friend lost his brother, dad, mother, uncle after COVID jabs, all with heart attacks. Fucking hell. Whoa. Whoa. Maybe that's what happened to me. I don't know. Because I got it, Never thought I got it, Till just now. God, blimey. Fucking hell, it's... Go ahead, Bert. Also, in the beginning, someone recorded the empty wards at a few hospitals. Yeah, I remember that. Videos were taken down and security was placed at every hospital entry. I remember that. Red Birds, I remember that. I remember that. Zeno, Mate, I'm deep down the rabbit hole and study human biology and germ theory. And there's so much we're told about medicine that it's just not true. For example, cancer. Cancer is like a Hoover bag collecting toxins that the body has collected over time. It's defense mechanism. And when you go for a biopsy, they pierce it and the toxins are released into the body and forced okay now to form elsewhere. It's big business and the cure is fasting. Fuck. This is the best show I've ever done this. Even like some of the streams I go on. This is fucking brilliant, this. It's frightening though. It's frightening. I never watch myself, you know. I hate watching myself. I really do. I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna play this back. I can't believe this. See, with you saying that, Dino, you've only got to look at Big Pharma over there in America. And this is why I always remember I'm going back about 3 or 4 years ago. It's longer, about 4 years ago, before COVID, by the way. And when the Tories were in. And what had happened was, is that there was a lady, and she was a lady, consultant, top consultant. And she said, it was brilliant. Never ever seen her again, strangely enough. She just came up, it's like live sort of thing. And she said, oh no, she said, it's not coming through the privatisation is not coming through the back door anymore. It's coming through the front door. That's what she said 4 years ago. And look at the way it is now. Look at the way it is now. And that's all the pharmaceuticals because the big pharma over, they won't. This is why they want to disband the NHS and make you get insured and buy all your prescriptions and buy all your drugs. Do away with the hospitals unless you can pay for it with your insurance. And don't forget you've got standards of insurance. It's like a car, if you're fully insured, you're okay. But if you're third party, you're not okay. If you know what I mean. It doesn't cover you for everything. And it costs a hell. I'm not talking about car insurance. I'm talking about insurance, your health. Brilliant, this. The Redbirds, I know someone who worked at an old folks home. They weren't allowed to give them oxygen. Also, the drugs they were given have now been revealed to accelerate their death. Fucking hell. Jeez. Spot on, Redbird. They were making TikTok videos, which is the exact opposite of what you'd be doing in an emergency situation. They use the NHS as manipulation because no one will question those poor doctors and nurses. Wasn't doctors and nurses sacked, by the way, during the COVID thing? Actually sacked. Look at that girl now. Oh, what's her name? Bets. Ledby. Ledby. That girl is innocent. There's a terrible cover up there somewhere. Terrible cover up. That Ledby girl. Definitely innocent here. That's my opinion. I said something about it a few weeks ago, didn't I? Nurse Ledby. Some nurses are angels, but there are a lot that don't care and they love COVID because they had nothing to do apart from making TikTok dances that wouldn't have been possible if hospitals were full. Wow. Do you ever remember that picture? Do you ever remember the picture? And it was during that COVID thing, where you see doctors and even nurses, they were all lying on the floor. They were that exhausted. And remember when they were all saying, give these people a rise. I would have loved to have become a medical thing, to be honest. But I hate blood. Be coward. Coward. Could you imagine me? The Red Bird. Oh, I'm glad you're with us, Frank. I'm made up you're with me. Really? There's too few of us. Too few of us trying to speak the truth and, from everything. And I mean everything. Sometimes I think people are thick, and I hate saying that. I don't like calling anyone thick or anything. And I don't like calling anyone ugly either. I hate that. I hate the word hate as well. But, I hate the word someone saying ugly. Oh, no, I hate that. It's anyone taking us for fools and calling us conspiracy theorists. Can't stand that. And what's the only thing? Use a Reds out there. Use a big Reds like me. Don't you think that that's saving us? Remember the 80s? Going back to the 80s? And the apathy. Our city could have been apathetic, but football saved us. Football. I know it sounds mad, but it did. It saved us. Saved us. Football. And it's like it now. The way everything's going with this Starmer. But you can't blame Starmer just on him and what's going on today. You've got to blame the Tories. They've been in power, He's only been in a few months. The Tories started all this under Cameron, going back years. But Starmer's getting the blame for everything. But he's just carrying on what the Tories started anyway. People are dying from car accidents and being labelled as... Yeah, I remember that as well. Inflating the numbers to cause fear in the pot. Yeah, I remember that as well. You see these itches? They're even on my eyeballs. It's shocking, I have to just got to do it bloody night every day. Shock what I go through. Everybody's got what I've got, by the way. Everybody, you have. And it's under the skin. It's like a fungi that goes right around your head, just the head. And it's under it, this fungi. But unfortunately, out on me, there's other people as well like me, wherever they are, around the world. And it comes out. It comes out. And it's in your scalp. And it's like, if I do that, it's like dandruff coming out. I've never suffered from dandruff, ever in my life. That's what it's like. Even this now, I've only got to do that, loads of flakes have come out. Flake. Sorry about that. To let you know, when you see me doing that, during that, it's all this. It's horrible. The Corbett report expects a cyber attack to collapse the dollar. Thing is, the dollar's already collapsing, and who will they blame? BRICS. They'll blame Russia. Everything. Rather than, as you said, it's like these Bitcoin things, isn't it? But I'm glad I'm too old for all that now. I really am. I remember when we changed over to, what we've got now. From the old pounds and pence and shillings and pence. And I went in, and it was my turn to get a drink. It was with my mates. And I just pulled out like that. I went, yeah, you take it. I didn't know what it was. Couldn't anyway, that's going back. That's how clever I am. And I just laughed at me. Could talk whatever they asked. I want to know. Anyway, the standard is it takes 5 years to make a test vaccine. How did they make billions out of them in 11 months? I never took the bait, nor wore a mask. I did. I'm being honest. And I did Redbird. I think your generation had the best times to grow up, Frank. Yeah. Do you know what the most serene decade was in the 20th century? Might surprise you here. And it was the 50s. Everything else was fucking wars. Albeit that, we had the Suez Crisis and the Korean War. But it was the Ovaltine decade. We are the Ovaltine little girls and boys. And that was the most surreal. Because don't forget, it was after the Second World War, which was horrendous. Then we had the 50s, and people were working simply to build up the cities, whatever was going on after the war, post-war. And you had the Vietnam War, didn't you? 60s, unlikely, and all the other wars that followed. But you're right there, IBR. you could buy exempt from wearing massive on eBay and Amazon. If there was a pandemic, they wouldn't have been allowed to sell them. I didn't know that, being honest. I paid for an overcoat. I sent for an overcoat before Christmas. I'm sure I paid for it. I haven't even got it yet. Cracking overcoats as well. My daughter said, "What are you going to do? Wear it in the house?" I went, "Yeah." She said, "You never go out." No. Do you know they gave so many people the death shot, another saline solution? They used plausible deniability as a way to deflect. I think everything today is deflecting everything that, just a distraction of what's going on. Because you'll say you had it and you're fine, etc., which casts doubt. Yeah, look at that, see, this is this thing. It's horrible. But that's, as you said there, they use plausible deniability as a way to deflect. Plausible deniability deflects things like every situation that's brought about, not just, what's going on. Like deflection of what's going on in America, for example, and their particular, they're in a terrible state, They owe trillions, they're trillions. But who do they fucking pay? That's what I want to know. Who does America pay with all this debt? Trillions. Who do they pay? I think they pay themselves. And if the dollar goes, they're finished. They'll go bankrupt. America. That's why they're fighting so hard. So, about BRICS as well. We won't hear the end of BRICS with this lot. Won't hear the end of BRICS. Heads with Boris with the party. Yeah, that's how phony it was, wasn't it? Everyone was at party, never had any masks either. Kissing each other. While everybody, like me, had these masks. And only Red Bird, didn't have. Oh, I'll wear it on mask. This is phony. But he was right. I suppose Dino as well. Noah Hyde. Good evening, Frank. Good evening, Noah Hyde. This is a current affairs program. Amira says, Russia is doing trials for cure for cancer. The West will not like this. No. Do you know, you're right there, Myra. The Russians, they say that they're subhuman race, by the way. You know that, don't you? The Russians are the subhuman race. Remember when I mentioned at the beginning of the show that they've been sanctioned since 1924, if you know what I mean. But you look at what Russia have done. First man in space, first woman, Valentina Tereshkova, in space, a woman in space. But you look from the likes of Yuri Gagarin, even before then, they sent out a Sputnik going around the air. You look at what they've been doing in science for years. Science for years. Incredible what they've done. Incredible. And yet, You only got to look at Cuba. And what Cuba, Cuba's been sanctioned by those Americans since 1959. And yet their medical service is absolutely outstanding. So was Russia's, by the way. But you're right, Myra. The West will not like this, especially about cancer. The Redbirds walking past coffee shop where they set up a jab room. A nurse asked me, "Have you had a jab?" I said, "My medical history is private. Do you want to tell me yours?" She was dumbfounded. Woke chick. Yep. It's good, that, actually. I like that. The Redbird. Yes, Redbird, says Dino. Giving the R1s midazolam to kill them, as well as putting people on ventilators, effectively suffocating to death. Do you ever remember that Tyson fucking fella? And he got a contract, and he never made one. We got millions of ventilators, remember? And they were showing like this, oh, this is what we're going to make, a little plan. I could have done that and made millions. Honestly, Frank, it was crimes against humanity. This is a Holocaust in its own right, says Dean. Yeah. And a big swindle. Money going everywhere and going in the wrong places. The Redbird doctors who got paid to stay home were laughing all the way to the bank. Copite Column. Callum the Copite. Frank, did you see that woman in New York getting burnt alive on subway? It was horrifying. My eyes couldn't unsee it. Yeah. It was shocking. But, it's the old mental health, isn't it? Spin. No words. As a self-taught herbalist who cured leprosy, tuberculosis, chickweed, alkaline. But I couldn't save my life from COVID vaccine, terrible cancer shit. Oh, fucking hell. No words. I thought you were a kid. No words. I had no idea that you were married or anything. Cirrhosis. With herbs like mullein, chickweed and alkaline diet. I couldn't save my wife from COVID vaccine, terrible cancer shit. Fucking hell. Oh, no words. So sorry. So sorry, fella. That's shocking. She was only 34 and so beautiful. I am a ghost now, wandering in this crazy, evil world. Fuck me. So sorry. So sorry. So sorry, mate. I really am. So sorry, no hide. It's hard to fathom what you went through. But there's lots of people, unfortunately, there's lots of people like you. what they went through. I always remember some fella on the television here, and he couldn't even go and see his mother or his brother who had died. He couldn't even go to the funeral. It is an evil world. Callum says that I caught a clip, couldn't watch it. Have they said it? No, they won't say, I don't think. They won't say. It's like those stabbings, isn't it? Christmas Day. Sorry about this. It's like those stabbings, Christmas Day. I know someone who died of a heart attack and they said it was COVID in the death certificate. Dean, football is escapism. Yes, absolutely. That's what I said. We're lucky. We are lucky. I know it sounds mad. The copite, Callum. I haven't named him yet. Or the woman, yet not identified. No words, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm fear for you, mate. Remember when a block fell off his ladder and died? They said it was cold. A bloke to me. Get the blame COVID for everything. Any deaths? Any deaths? Getting run over? COVID? Why? How? Oh, he didn't know, he was wandering. And COVID wandered into the road. God's sake. I was listening to an undertaker and someone from government rung him on Mondays asking how many COVID deaths he had. And when he said one or two, the geezer told him all the deaths are COVID related. And there you have it. No word. Even the mud flood lie is exposed now. And I spoke to many people on the streets. They are aware of the global lie of our history. That's why they had to reset us all now. To reset us all. It's like, as one of the lads said before, and what it's all about. What it's all about is that it's a new world order. Would anyone agree with me? And I've said this before. Just bear with me on this. Sorry about this. This is killing me. What's been planned for years it's happened. And I'm talking years ago. And it was all like to destabilize some African countries, the Middle East, so that migrants from the African countries, they destabilized. And look at Ethiopia and the Sudan. We've got loads of people there. Nothing against them, if you know what I mean. And I'm just giving those examples, like the migrants coming through. And the Middle East. destabilise the Middle East, to flood Europe. And look what's going on in Europe now. And I said that ages ago. That was a big plan, and they succeeded, America. They succeeded. Because they'll corner everything. They'll corner everything. Destabilise Europe. And that's what's happening today. That's what's happening. Edward, you're doing well with the solo streams. Frank, thank you. Do me best. But yous are out there. Yous are fantastic. Yeah. Mark, hiya Mark. Okay. I was told decades ago that the UK was tricked into the EU but then out. The useful tool, Savills Buddy, Pedsworth, or Edwards Heath. Pedo Heath, Pedsworth, yeah. Pedsworth, good one there. Good shout that. Then to strip out all the UK's industry, reducing UK into Romania poverty by design. Why? Absolutely, Mark. It's always been a plan. Look. I always remember, people used to call this fella for everything. And that was de Gaulle. De Gaulle knew what the British were like. And he never wanted us nowhere near the common market as it was known then. He said, there's no way I'll have you in. Does anybody ever remember that? He knew how sly, not you and me, but the way governments work. You had one great prime minister in this country, and it wasn't Churchill. Wasn't him. It was Harold Wilson. I couldn't get me tape on. It was Harold Wilson. And Harold Wilson, remember when LBJ Johnson said, I want your boys in Vietnam, and he just told them to, my boys are not going over there. What happened to him? What happened to Harold Wilson? All of a sudden he resigned because the Yanks said, we want him out, get him out. They rule us, America. And Israel rule America. Why do you think all the trouble is in the Middle East? It's all Israel. They want to take over the Middle East. Masks. Yeah. That's what it was, mate. Masks. Edward. I remember on the second lockdown, there were police in plain clothes pulling people, asking them why they. Yeah, I believe so. I couldn't move anyway. In town. Yeah, that's it. I had to. What happened to me? I had to go to the hospital. After me up, yeah, I had to go and see the surgeon. And I said, can he come here? No, to come up here. And I was asked, someone pulled me, what are you doing here? And they had to show me phone. I said, great surgeon, this fellow, though. Well, young fella, top one in the country. And I said to him, can I shake your hand? He said, of course you can. I said, thank you, from one stranger to another, saving a stranger's life. And he said, that's the first time anyone's ever said that to me. What a wonderful saying. He said, yeah, well, you're a stranger to me, and I'm certainly, I'm a stranger to you. The Red Bird, Dean, spot on about the saline vax. Yes. I went to Paris for the European Cup final in 22. Had to pay for COVID test and COVID pass. Yeah, what was all that about? And it cost a few quid for me and my lad. Got to Dover and they never even checked them, showing exactly what it was all about, money and control. Bang. Bang on there. The Red Bird. Callum. When they take their time naming criminals, it's usually one of those who cannot be named. But this may not be the case. But we know this happens time after time, says the Red Bird to young Callum. That is Will Pitt. During COVID, I was a bus driver around Liverpool. We were forced to wear masks whilst driving and in our canteen room. I had the first and second vaccines, and ever since then, I've had phlegm on my chest. Hey, Will, if you're still with us, what do you think of Trump wanting to buy Greenland? Because we know Greenland, don't we? And he carries on by saying, I cannot get rid of it, even now. Will P. People has driven Liverpool football team around. A big Jaeger. No eyes. It's pointless to find cures as they will find something else tomorrow. We are at war, and it's like 1917 again before 1918 World War I. $1914 for us Europeans, 1917 for the Americans. No hide. Ali the Noose. Hello, Ali. Well, it's despicable, says the Red Bird. Workers were forced to have the jab or lose your job. Yeah, especially the construction workers. That's shocking. I believe wearing a mask for nearly 8 hours a day, breathing in my own carbon dioxide, caused this phlegm problem. That's a good point, that actually. That's a cracking point, that Will. And Will says to the Red Bet, yes, we were told to have the jabs too. He replies, Will, spot on, mate. The mask did loads of damage. I listened to the surgeon before COVID saying some don't wear masks in surgery as they are useless. Also, viruses that are the tiny, the masks don't even stop them. Yeah, they were useless. Redbird. Amazing that people had to be 10 yards up. Yeah, but I never saw a match where the players stayed 10 yards. Remember when the very first closed doors game, and it was in Germany, wasn't it? And they said to the players, whatever you do, when you score, don't be running over to the player who scores and giving them hugs. They all fucking ran over and give them hugs anyway, kisses and everything. I was mad there. That's a crack of that then. Funny how BLM were allowed protests. Oh, the fucking don't talk about them to me. Yeah, allowed protests, robbing shops, stores, etc. during the pandemic. Yet people were banned from going to church. Nothing to do with race. My arse, absolutely. Yes. I was listening to a girl called Candace Owens, black girl. What did I hear about that? What's his name? Floyd George. She's a black girl. It's going to be a retrial, isn't he, over that Chauvin who murdered him, supposedly. But then again, see what I've just said. It could be called racist. That's why they've got a label for everyone who says something, and they just label you. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, or you're a racist, or you're anti-Semitic, and that's control. That's control. What you call control. Control the narrative. Control what they say, so that they won't say anything. Oh, Richard Dawkins. Evening, buddy. I hope you and the family had a great Christmas, says Richard Dawkins to the Red Bird. I like seeing you there. Oh, there he is. Even if Frank, it's your favourite United fan. Hey, Richard. You haven't said anything about United. No. Well, I have had all the boosters and I got the illness 3 weeks ago. Thought it was the flu. You sure it wasn't the flu? But they told you that it was COVID. That's what it's all about, Richard. Thatcher was a witch, but she was against the EU. That's why they outed her. Man, she needed outing, but that was the reason. I don't know, but we were in the EU. I understand that. She's always having a go at Barnier, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Oh, I forget his fucking name anyway. Who cares? And but De Gaulle did Morrissey. De Gaulle just didn't, but he didn't like us at all. Didn't like this country. And you wonder why he didn't like them. It's not you or me personally. It's not the ordinary English. But look at us now today. We're hated, you know. Richard, all good this. I hope all's well with you and yours, says the Red Pit. To Richard Hawkins, a Man United fan. No eyes. It's one for the history of humanity. We never forget and forgive. That's a good one. Isn't Greenland part of Denmark, or am I wrong, says Yusuf? No, it's Denmark. Like Panama is Panama. Or Donald, Big Donald T wants to take Panama. The fuck is that all about? We're being ripped off by Panama. We built it. No, you fucking didn't. The French were building it first. Like anything else, you took over. You built it. And the Panamanians actually give $1 to still alive today to buy it back. You know, yeah, that's it. So Panama belongs to, you know, Jimmy Carter said, give us $1 and it's yours. He went, okay, give them $1. It's like Alaska. Alaska is a part of Russia. But they sold it, I think, in 1848 to America. So why doesn't America get that back? It's like Gibraltar. We've had Gibraltar since 1724 or 1702. Not quite so sure of those dates. Look at Gibraltar. It's in the Spanish Peninsula. We own it. The Falklands Islands, the Malvinas, belongs to Argentina. We own it. A few fucking sheep. Yeah. That's what America are doing, making an empire. "64 episodes and so many people have died, and that's just reported on the news of stars, celebrities and sports people." What's that about? 64 episodes and so many people have died. I don't get the flu vaccine. Yeah. Babies, children. Going right down, boys. IVR. Richard. This is IVR to Richard. Our Man United. Richard, I hope you're not too down after yesterday. Dino. Being a great show, mate. I'm off before the missus stabs me in the heart. See you Sunday after the match. If you're doing it, I'm doing one. Yeah, post match. I'm doing a show tomorrow actually. Film and television review, 10:30 in the morning. Take care, Frank, and everyone else. Up the fucking Reds. Fuck the New World Order. I never swore it was him. He made me swear. I had to read it out. Cheers, Dino. If you're still with us. What do you make of NASA making its closest over approach to the sun? I don't mind that, you know. I really don't mind that. You said. I don't mind, you know, these probes going up. one of the greatest things I've ever known. I had an astronomer on my ordinary history show on a Monday night, and he's a cracking fella. And I said to him, the greatest thing I've ever known in my life was we sent out a probe to see this comet was coming, and it was gonna take 11 years to pass near us, stuff. And we made a probe to send out. I said, I went out, and it landed on it. So it's 11 million miles now. It was millions of miles anyway. It took years and years, 11 years, and it landed on this comet. And I thought that was the greatest achievement. I know that we sent out Voyager out of our own solar system, but that thing to land on that comet, to me, was the most brilliant thing in space exploration. And the telescopes as well, taking all these photographs. Anyway, I said to the astronomer, and I said, just imagine, this is what I said to him, I said, just imagine, if we had with today's technology, which is so far advanced from going back then, what would it be like? He went, we're doing things now that are going to go out in the future. So that's your technology. The technology's always been there. That blew my mind. What he said, the answer he gave was, we've got the technology now. Richard says, IBR, it was awful, but I don't blame the manager. We have a very mediocre squad. Myra saying hello to you, sir. I told family and friends about breathing in your own carbon dioxide wearing masks. It's not good for you, but unfortunately they believed the fear. It's like everything. Honest to God, it's like everything. Put fear. Look, fear mongering it's a norm. It really is a norm. The bogeyman. We're all afraid of the bogeyman. We've been, when we were kids. But it wasn't your mum or dad who was saying it. It was your brothers and sisters and everybody else. Oh, the bogeyman's coming for you. If you're naughty, oh, it's the bogeyman. And it's always been a fear. It's like everything. It's like stories told around the campfires going back centuries. This is how these fairy stories came about. This is how, the likes of fairy stories from different parts of the planet. And there's always a bogeyman. There's always someone there. And we're getting fed with it today. Fear-mongering. And you get the war hawks who are putting that fear into us. As I was growing up, all as I heard were people talking about communism. I didn't know what communism was. What the fuck's that, I was a kid. But as you get older and wiser, and we all know fear-mongering. I've watched Candace for a few years. She's great. She's married to an English white guy. She didn't know that. Go away. Want to hear about that George Floyd? And I said, was it the flu? He said, no, says Richard. No, they confirmed COVID. Anyone can say that now, you know. I don't know, though, you know. Probably Myra. Frank Carlyle. Did you, that UK and France, did you know that UK and France cannot use why? USA control the software to launch nukes. And I know that, I didn't know, I knew that they controlled, I knew that they controlled the French, but I didn't know that they controlled us. I didn't know that they control our nukes. The only thing that they get the orders, if we want to nuke someone, yeah, okay, do it. And this is what I say about America. Who the fuck does America think they are by ordering other countries to do what they want them to do? And why do people take any notice of them? That's why I've said Europe, the whole of Europe, all the heads of Europe, Western Europe, that is, are cowards. Cowards. You do everything. Nord Stream. Who blew up Nord Stream? America blew up Nord Stream. America. Germany knows it. We know it. Everybody knows it. But they're terrified to say, listen, America did. Russia come out and say it. Russia said, America's done it. When he was talking, Putin talking to Tucker Carlson, when Tucker says, who blew up Nord Stream? He said, you. He said, it wasn't me. He said, I know it wasn't you, personally. He said, I wasn't there. Just said it. I didn't know that. Thank you for that, Myra. USA control the software to launch. Doesn't surprise me though, Myra, to be honest. Redbird, Youssef, I don't believe what NASA says. They can say what they like and produce fake pictures and film. I research lots of things. If you dig deep enough, you'll find facts and truth. That's what I mean about these North Koreans. Has anyone come out and said, you know, has there been any film? Did you see the pathetic, what Ukraine was showing? And you see little dots running across the face. There's the North Koreans. And then, remember the Daily Mail, was it? Putting up pictures of two North Koreans like that. And they were superimposed their faces. Fake. And they had to say it was fake. Ukraine was showing us them, giving us them. But that's America telling Ukraine what to do. Ukraine are thick. Sorry to say that. Because they've got no army. They've got nobody. So everything is fake. Everything. I heard a fella, what's his name? But he's being groomed as the next president by America. But he doesn't. He wants to talk to Putin. But he's being groomed by America, by Trump. Volovich, I forget his name. Anyway, but he was asked. He said, "Is the other fella Zelensky, taking any money?" He said, "Well, not that I've heard of." Fuck off. He's buying homes all over the place, all over the world. His wife has just gone out and bought a £4.2 million car. Think about it. And he's saying, well, I haven't heard. Fuck. And they want him to be, yeah, okay. Noah Hyde. In 2022, those 5G contractors came to my home to fix those small round antenna on top of the lamppost. I asked one of them what it was, and they kindly opened it up for me. It was very alien tech. Remember when that's all? It's all the technology comes from China, and you know what? The West think it's China. Well, especially here in America, and they were saying, "Oh, you'll get cancer from those things," and fuck off. Doesn't it make you swear? I haven't swore all night. Richard Dawkins, all these colonies and islands, Frank, all about money, just like this part of the world. Yes. Yeah. Yep. And Richard carries on. In the center of the sun, there is a race called there is a race called the Carlyle. Hang on, in the center of the sun. They are the people who build the artificial artifact we call the moon. Blimey. One of those things. One of those. One of those. Should have joined us before, Richard. The Red Bears. This has been one of the best you've done for excellent show. Amazing comments and so interesting. Truth is good for the soul. Thank you, Red Bear. Really appreciate that. I really do, you might think, but honestly, I do really appreciate it because I'm going to look at this again. I never watch myself. I hate watching. I never used to watch the. Have you ever noticed when, like, if you ever joined me yesterday, show on a Monday, I play a clip so that we could do a first half and second half, and the DVDs that done in the past. I never watched them. Never watched them. Don't like looking at myself, honestly. But I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to go back and watch this because I think this is brilliant. And the Red Bird, fear is the ultimate controller. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at us at the games. Come on. How many times have I said, we've all said, how many times you get that being in your mouth? Watching Liverpool. Should have seen me yesterday. And I'm sitting on the couch, on my chair, on my recliner. 2-1. But all went well. Control. As I said, we smothered them. But that's football. But it's still fair. Noah Hyde. It seems like another pandemic and lockdown is coming very soon since we are going to win the bloody league. And Richard says to them, I used to read these self-help books from America. One of these authors said the worst negative is fear. See what I mean? The worst, oh, that's a negative. You don't have, fuck off. Put fear into everything. Do me a favour, people. Have a look at a thing. You'll get it on YouTube. Jason, what's his name? Jason. I always forget this fella's name. Actor. Jason Robards. Jason Robards. Have a look at him in a film called, it was made in 1983. But get a good copy of it. There's a couple of copies. One's awful, that hasn't been updated. I mean, updated digital-wise. Remastered. The day after. Watch it. It's a cracking little film. Little TV film it is, but watch it. Jason Robards. He's a surgeon. And Frankie, says Daryl. Hiya, Daryl. Hope you're well. And Noah Hyde said to them, the moon landing, only old pictures, was a good laugh. All the wrong shadows and the sun positions, bad acting, wrong physics. They even did a movie called Capricorn 1. Yeah, he did. But I have my own take on that, to be honest, Noah Hyde. I really do. IBR says, remember the guy who hacked NASA, Gary McKinnon? It was McKinnon. He had autism, didn't he? When he was in the MI6 headquarters, all the MI6 bosses were getting orders from the CIA agents. CIA. IBR. Yeah. He had autism. He was very lucky that he wasn't extradited over there, because he would have been still in jail now. Most probably would have died there. Daryl says, my wife had a long COVID. I'm convinced the jabs took my wife. Hi, Paul Lou. And Edward says, Richard, is that in a book? That's about that Carlyle thing, isn't it? What Richard was going on about. And Myra says, Daryl, sorry to hear that. Many people here from Vax. Yes. So frank, says Richard Hawkins. That statement I made about Carlyle comes from a book from 1860. I get all these books in PDF from a place called the Open Library. It is free, and they have thousands of books about anything. Wow. There's a film called Knowing. It's one of my favourite films. And Knowing, won't tell you what it's about, but try and watch it. It has something to do with the sun. Brilliant. Nick Cage. Try and watch it. Listen, Richard, what's it called? Says Edward. And he replies, Richard, Edward, I'm sorry, I cannot recall, but there is one I read all the time. Someone else is in on the moon by George Leonard. Go join our open library. You can search and all the books are free. Yeah, they've always said, didn't they, that the moon is a satellite, but it's hollow. It's hollow. And when Richard Carpenter got to the moon, he seen something over it. And then it went away. Big thing. And he went, when he got back to work, he just went into religion. He went to religious. Was it Richard? Did I say Richard Carpenter? He's one of the carpenters. I forget but his name was Carpenter anyway. Listen, you wonderful people, I'm going to finish being on this, 3 hours? Do you think the Emerald Tablet is that true? Do you think the Emerald Tablet is that true? The Emerald Tablet. Or is it from Hermes? I always, Myra, take care, Myra. I hope you enjoyed it tonight. You stays with us. You stays with us. I'm made up you stays. I hope you enjoyed. And a Merry Christmas. And I'm just going to wish everybody, I'll see you again next week, a bigger, better New Year. Let's hope for a peaceful New Year. Let's bring peace. Let's bring peace. And the league to Anfield. That's all that I wish. Richard Carpenter is one of the Carpenters, but I think he meant John Carpenter. Yes, thank you. Richard. The IBR. Myra Page, good night. I'm glad that, you have enjoyed it. I think so anyway. I know Red Bears has, he said it was a good show. But I'm going to look at this, play this back. Not now, like. Done in. I'll just did I be a t-shirt, by the way, look. Richard Hawkins wrote. I wrote that for a Christmas present. For my grandson. Yeah, granddad. But anyway, it's just for me to say good night. It's been super. We'll have this again. I'll try and get that UFO fella on. I really will. Try and get him on. Myra's, saying to that to the IBR. Richard, Frank, and everyone in chat. Thank you. I love United, but I love you all, Liverpudlians. Thank you. Thank you so much, Richard. And as Noah Hyde says, nice bird. Yes. Yes. And IBR. Excellent show, Franco. Grazie. Thank you, IBR. There's me mate. Redbird. Until we meet again. Night, night, all. Yes. Richard says, tomorrow morning, Frank, yes. Am I on 10:30 with the film? I've got films to be recommending. I don't think anyone looks at them, to be honest. I'm watching them and I recommend them. I don't watch any woke. I don't watch woke. And films today are becoming too wokey for me. Too wokey. And as I said, someone said to me, have you watched Blitz? And I went, no. Not if someone's trying to change history. I will not watch it. Didn't happen. And that's changing history. That is changing history. And it's wrong. Richard says, I do watch the big, yeah, Bogart, absolutely brilliant. Casablanca, the Magnificent Seven, yeah. Yeah, The Great Escape. Dun, 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 dun. Yes. Red Bear, right, mate. See you again, guys. Yes, you will. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. And I might make myself a couple of rounds of toast. Have I not toast for a while? So that's what I might myself, and just sit down and watch a film. Callum the Copite says, I like watching horrors. Like, can't beat horror, especially ones with the clowns. Do you mean Zelensky? Fella named Zelensky. He's a clown. I used to, I watch horrors myself for escapism, you know, from the reality. Because we're living in a horror film. We are, you know, whether you like it or not. It's all scripted and we're living in it now. Richard, love to all. Go in peace. Here. Absolutely. And Richard, toast with loads of butter is the best comfort food. Yeah. Do you know what? I always had Lurpak. And I was getting my Lurpak, and Francine said to me, my daughter, Dad, don't get that. And she may come out with all this stuff. You know what? I said, oh, wait, Francine, I like it. Ended up getting anchor butter. Yes, anchor butter. But anyway, I'm going to go. See you all tomorrow morning. If I don't see you tomorrow morning, I'll see you on Sunday afternoon. I don't know I don't even know what time the kickoff is. But anyway, it's the post-match one. The West Ham game. Let's hope that we do the business there. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't believe it, honestly. It's been a great thing this tonight. It really is. And some of the comments have been absolutely out of this world. Thank you so much. Speak to you soon. Mille grazie. Ciao bella tutti. Buonanotte.